Hey, is what you know a secret? A secret that you're not going to tell anybody? Something that you should protect? Keep it in that little chest in your mind? If there is a chest in your mind, but in a box or something to keep things protected? Or should you do something else with what you know, what you think, your ideas? Come and muse with me after this. Hey, welcome to the Personal Development Unplugged podcast with me, Paul Clough. And this is an FMQ, a 5-minute quickie podcast, which never lasts 5 minutes. It always goes a little bit longer. But it's a chance for you and I just to muse, to think of a subject, to talk about it for a few minutes, and then spend time thinking, seeing how it would change our life if we maybe developed it a little deeper. And maybe sometimes these 5-minute quickies will go into a longer podcast where we can dive deeper and produce processes, hypnosis processes, NLP processes. Don't worry about the names. They're just processes for making our life and your life absolutely better. Getting rid of anxiety, fear, all those other hang-ups and issues that we have, and have the life we deserve and make dreams come into reality. Quicker, bigger, better than you could ever dream of. But they're the longer podcasts, and this is a 5-minute quickie where we break down the complicated into simple, because in simplicity there's genius, and that's what we do here. So if you want to just think for a little while, see what happens, see what resonates inside you, and when it does, you go change the world.
This is Personal Development Unplugged with Paul Clough.
In simplicity, there is genius.
In simplicity, there is genius.
Hey friend, the 5-minute quickie again, something to think about. And I'm going to ask you a question. Think of this. Do you share what you know? Do you share your ideas? Do you share your thoughts? And the thing is, I know we'd like to think that we do. But sometimes, I've got this idea. No, it's mine. I've got this thought. It's mine. I've got this, this understanding. I could share it with you. But then, and maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just Buddy Clough being stupid. Because I think it is stupid now. And I thought about this and heard about this years and years ago. And there's a lovely metaphor in the way that, see, if I give you $1, I give you £1, I give you a currency. What it means is you've got my dollar, you've got my pound, you've got my bit of currency, haven't you? I've given it to you, and that's it. I don't have it anymore, but you do. And I think that's how we think of sharing. And that's so wrong. Because sharing does this. If I share an idea with you, share a thought, share something that I've learned, I've still got it, haven't I? I've still got that idea. I've still got that bit of learning. I've got that thought. And so have you. So nothing has left me. But the thing is, when you get to understand my thought, my idea, the thing I've learned, you might just go, well, hey, Cloughie, that's interesting. What about this? And they share something with me. And they've lost nothing, but I've gained something. I've gained something I didn't have, which is an idea, a thought. Now, I might put that down and go, that doesn't mean anything to me. It's not worth anything to me, but I've still got it. Still got in there somewhere. Might be useful later. But it's something that by giving a thought, and I think these things happen. You hear about these things when someone shares something with somebody and it just suddenly ignites something in them, and they ignite something in the person who gave that idea of thought, and something brilliant comes from it. So it's so selfish, I think, just to keep things to yourself. Now, I know what you're thinking when I'm talking about sharing. You're probably going to think, he's going to suddenly slip into the bit about sharing the Personal Development Unplugged podcast, sharing the episodes with everyone you know. That's what you're thinking I want to say. But I'm not. I'm not going to ask you to share this or every episode of the Personal Development podcast to all you know. Tell them about me. Tell them about Cluffy. Tell them about all the things you can learn and got here and all that free hypnosis. See, you were wrong. So I wasn't going to say that. What I was going to say is, it's like when you share what you've learned, yes, you've still got it, but what happens is as you speak it or you write it down, what you think you understand, you either find out that you don't quite understand it and you go back and learn more, or that person you share it with will ask you a question. You go, I got to find out. I thought I had it all and there's a piece missing now. So by sharing it, you get that wonderful golden nugget of, I don't know. Let's go and find out. Or what else happens is when you share what you've learned, you get to learn it in a richer way, a deeper way. Because it's just going in, and it goes in, I think it goes in several ways, because as you speak, you have to think of the things you're going to say to make it comprehensible, understandable. So you might change it a little bit. So you have to think of different things. You might have different visions or different pictures in your mind, which you're then going to translate into words. So all these different things, and there'll probably be some feelings there as well. So by sharing something, you are really living that learning in all the modalities, which make it, well, to me, it makes it real. It's not just intellectual now. You can now talk the talk. And with that, hopefully you will then add walk in the walk. But sharing that thing is, to me, the start of walking the walk. So sharing just ideas, sharing what you know, can make such a difference to your understanding of the world, your learnings, and also, I think, the spontaneity of ideas, because you're in a different mindset. Because as you're there to receive other people's thoughts and ideas, it's going to spark things in your mind. Maybe not just at that moment, but when you're quiet, you're thinking of something completely different. That wonderful aha moment, that idea that comes to mind. What if you do that, Cluffy? Have you thought about this? And you go, ooh, I'm going to make a note of that. I'm going to work on that. I wonder where that came from. And you may not know, but you do know. It came from the way that you were sharing your thoughts, your ideas. And I think it's a lovely thing to do. So maybe just have a think, if you would. Amuse. Maybe get your puzzle book out and say, would it go for that old question? Would this improve my life? By sharing. Would it improve other people's life? By sharing. Would it make my life worse? Well, it doesn't ever make your life worse, I don't think. Not if it's a nice thing to share anyway. And what would happen if I did? What are the positive things that are going to happen? Maybe there's a few negatives, but what are the consequences of me sharing? What could happen? What are the opportunities? And when you get that thought in mind, I think you'll look to do more of it. You see, I've shared this with you. I've lost nothing, but I have got some thoughts in my mind now, just as I was speaking. And maybe I understand a little bit more about this little bit of subject of sharing. There you go. It's about, I don't know how many minutes. The actual bit is about 6.5, 7 minutes. So in that time, you can share anything in a short period of time and grow, which is what we're here for, isn't it? Personal Development Unplugged is all about personal development, growing, stretching, learning, and then selfless service, sharing for no want of return. Selfless service, how we really grow and change the world. Change ourselves, change the people around us, change the environment. Little old planet Earth just gets better. There you go. Suck on that. Have a great one. And time to fly.
Warning, you are now leaving the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. It's time to fly on your own. Be brave, my friend.
Personal Development Unplugged.